Welcome to my journey into media world. Hope you're all doing well. Today, I'm delighted to say I've got another brilliant interview for you guys. Today, I'm delighted to say that I'm joined by Watford goalkeeper, Ben Foster. Ben, thank you so much for coming on and joining me on my channel. How you doing, mate?
I'm awesome. Thank you very much, Jude. The pleasure is honestly all mine, mate. I am looking forward to it.
Brilliant. Thank you. Now, obviously, what a time to do this interview. Been preparing for it all weekend. We've got to start. Watford, Ben Foster, a Premier League club, Premier League player. Just talk us through the last sort of week and what it's been like.
Yeah, the last week has been absolutely brilliant. I kept saying to the lads on the pitch on Saturday after the game at full time that you've got to enjoy these moments, lads. Like they don't come along very often in your career. You know, I know it's not quite the same as winning a cup competition or anything like that, but it still is a massive deal. And when you've achieved something like that, to bounce back up from relegation like we did in the first season, straight back up in such a tough league, you've got to embrace it. You've got to enjoy it. And like I said, you can see we're having a good time. We're all on the pitch, having a few beers, you know, popping the champagne, all dancing around in the changing rooms, all that kind of stuff. But like I say, you've got to enjoy it. You've got to embrace it and enjoy those moments for as long as you can.
Yeah, you mentioned there you've done it at the first time of asking. Not only have you done it at the first time of asking, but you've also done it with a change around of managers. Xisco Munoz has obviously come in charge. Firstly, what do you think has been different about Xisco and what he's implemented at the club as opposed to Ivic?
Yeah, they're very much different characters. They're basically like chalk and cheese, I'd say, to be honest with you. You know, Vladimir was very much he was a very big on tactics and discipline and making sure things were done in completely the right way. You know, the new manager, he's got a lot more personability, and nowadays I think in football, having a good persona, being able to, you know, build rapport with your team and your players and your coaching staff, I think it carries so much more weight. I really do. I think if you can get on a level with people and talk to people and understand them and find out about their families, what they do when they're not playing football, all that kind of stuff, I think it just breeds a much better and nicer atmosphere. Fair play to the manager as well. He came in, his coaching staff are top class, absolutely top class. We love coming in and working with them and the manager. And also the formation change. You know, he changed formation to, sorry, that's my phone going. He changed formation to 4-3-3, and it just suits us down to the ground. It's, you know, the players that we've got, we fully believe that we've got the best individual players in the league. We just needed to find a formation that suited them. And I think the 4-3-3 change of formation really suits us down to the ground. We've got so much pace in the team. Ismail Sarr on the right wing, Ken Summer on the left wing, João Pedro through the front. Yeah, it's good. It's exciting times.
I think personally for me, from obviously the vlogs that you do, we saw that change in style from day one when you did that vlog. I think it was the Christmas Day vlog and the Boxing Day vlog of his first game, and he gave you the 2 days off. I think that just shows the type of character he is. If you work hard for him, he'll reward you.
Exactly that. It's like I say, it's a respect thing. Like he's so thankful for the effort and for the job that we've just put in for him. So he fully respects us enough to go, right, lads, you've got 2 days off. Well done for that. Really, thank you so much. It's Christmas time anyway. I know you want to spend a lot of time with your family. That's what I mean. That's having that personability to understand that players aren't just footballers. You know, that's it. Obviously it's a big part of their life, but away from football is where you spend most of your time, and you want to see your family, especially like at times like Christmas. You want to spend time with your family, and that was, like I said, that was a great foot to get off on with the new manager.
Yeah, and for you personally, you've only featured twice under Xisco, I believe, and that was obviously due to your finger injury. So what is your personal relationship like with the manager?
Yeah, brilliant. He's first and foremost, he's just a lovely guy, and you can't not get on with him. Honestly, he's such a lovely bloke, really outgoing, like I say, really personable. He's always happy to talk and chat through. I'm of an age where I'm exactly the same. You know, I understand why decisions are made and why I haven't been playing, and I fully respect it as well, you know. So I get on with him, honestly, really, really well. You know, like I say, we're very similar ages. I think he's 39 and I'm 38. So we're kind of on the same level anyway, to be perfectly honest with you. But no, it's not just me. He's every single member of the team will say the same thing. He's just a really nice guy, really easy to get on with, really easy to talk to, very approachable. And I think in the modern game, that is the way to be as a manager.
What would you say the turning point to getting promotion would be, because when Xisco came in, I believe you were 4 points off the automatics, but then there's a few teams within just a point chasing you. So week by week, did you just feel like it was getting closer? Or
Oh, no. It's a very good question, because there was one actual incident which really did spark our season. We had a disappointing 0-0 draw away at Coventry City, and you could just feel there was a bit of a change of atmosphere. The lads seemed to be kind of getting on each other's backs, and it was all a little bit negative and pessimistic. And I could sense it. I was in the stands. I was still out injured, and I was watching. I was thinking, that's not the lads that I know. They're not like that. They don't normally get on each other's backs. So we all had a big meeting afterwards, and we basically, everybody had to just say it how it was and tell some home truths. And we spoke about the things that we needed to change and what we needed to get back to, just sort of helping each other out. If somebody does something well, pat them on the back, grab them up and go, awesome, love that, keep going, all that kind of stuff. And I think we got in a rut of forgetting to do that kind of stuff. It seems obvious and very easy to do, but we just forgot to do it. And it was literally from that moment. The very next game, I think, was Bristol City at home. We beat them 6-0, and we never looked back from that moment on. We went on an incredible run. I think over the last 15 games, we've won 12 or 13. If ever there was a time to put a real good run of results together, it was then. And the lads have done absolutely brilliant, and it is some achievement to achieve promotion with 2 games to go from where we were.
Yeah, and I mean, you've been there and done it in terms of football sense. So how much of a role do you think you've played? And I imagine you as a player, you correct me if I'm wrong, have you sort of passing down your knowledge to the lads and sort of helping them on this journey back to the Premier League?
Yeah, for sure. I think even if I was playing, that's my job anyway, is to help the lads as much as you can. But especially when you're not playing, you need to really sort of channel your energy, because I have got a lot of energy anyway. So I need to channel it in a different way. So I have to get behind the lads, whether it's Dan on a Saturday afternoon, Dan in training, it could be any of the other lads, just helping them through bits and bobs. Maybe do this, maybe do that. Don't worry about it too much. Just tiny little nuggets of information of stuff that I've been through myself that I know they're probably feeling as well. And that, like I say, as an older player, you have to do that. But we're lucky as well. We do have quite a few experienced heads in the changing room, the likes of Troy Deeney, Tom Cleverley, even Craig Cathcart. They're good, level-headed lads that understand other players' emotions and how they're feeling at certain times, and are willing to help out as well.
Yeah, just looking ahead to next season in the Premier League, what would you say is different about the last time you were roughly in the Premier League?
It's a very different team. I think you look at the players that we had when I first joined the squad. It was I remember signing from West Brom and thinking, wow, this is a very technically gifted team. We had the likes of Jerry Delafeu, we had Maxi Pereira, Etienne Capoue, Decore, very technically gifted players, and they're Premier League players. And at the minute, we've had to go through a bit of a transition. It's always what happens when teams get relegated. Other players want to move on to bigger and better things, and some have got some really nice moves, and I'm so happy for them because, like I say, they're great players. But at the minute, we've got a much younger team. I think our team ethic and our outlook on games at the minute is to basically outwork any opposition that we have, and we're very blessed and gifted that we've got somebody like Ismail Sarr on the right wing. He's an incredible talent. Ken Semmer on the left-hand side again. Incredible talent, full of pace. So yeah, it's a different Watford team, but that's not to say it's any better or any worse either, though.
Yeah, and just finally on current affairs at Watford, I'm not sure how much you read the news, Ben, but there's been some rumours surrounding that there have been some links about you going to Manchester City. What would happen if Pep Guardiola gave you the call?
If Pep Guardiola gave me the call, I would be packing my GoPro up and saying, mate, I will happily come and sit on the bench for you guys, and I will vlog the life out of it if you want to see that. I would be getting next to Edison every day and going, guys, look at this guy, look at him, watch his side volley. Oh my God, it's a thing of beauty. Watch him take one step and absolutely munt it to the right winger, 70 yards up the pitch. No, I'm joking, obviously. It's a way that paper talk goes. You'll always get linked with other teams, and other things will come up, but at the end of the day, it's all just paper talk. I've never heard a single thing about this, and that's what these media outlets need to do. Though they need to fill some column inches, so they put 2 and 2 together, and most of the time come up with 6 or 7.
They just want to use it for your GoPro, mate. That's all.
That's it, mate. Yeah, boom, I'm there. Boost my subscriber count. They've got a good fan base, Man City.
That moves us on nicely to you're not only a Premier League goalkeeper now, you're also a YouTuber, cycling goalkeeper. Firstly, just talk to a little bit talk to me a little bit about how this came about. Did your kids inspire you? Did you want to keep people connected within sport during what was a really tough time for everyone? Because that's what I try and do with this, is I wanted to try and keep people connected with sport through these interviews.
Yeah, sure. Again, it was very similar. I remember in the first lockdown, I wanted to try and do something because I was at home. I was messing about with the kids in the garden literally every day. The weather was booming. We were out doing stuff all the time, going on walks, out on the bikes. We were doing assault courses in the garden. We were playing football in the garden, netball. And I was thinking, you know, maybe do something where I can just try and keep the spirits of people up, show them some stuff that they can do in their gardens or in their limited space with their kids. Just to keep people active, basically. But it didn't really get round to it. But then when we started back for the new season, I thought, you know what, I'm going to start vlogging and just doing a kind of a day-to-day basis of what goes on at football and what it's like being a footballer. And then the idea came of eventually just putting the GoPro in the goal. Like, just something just popped in my head. I thought, you know what, I'll stick it in the goal and see what happens. I knew we might run into some problems with licensing and stuff like that, but I thought, you know what, sod it, I'll give it a go and see how it looks. And thankfully, it came out looking really good. It's, you know, I think every episode that I put out is always a pretty good news story. It leaves you with a smile on your face at the end of the day, and that's what it's about, really, is to just give a little glimpse behind the curtain of what it's like to be a footballer. Let people know that we're not just these normal robot machines that do it relentlessly. We are normal people like everybody else. And like I say, just show you the bits and bobs that people never normally get to see, what it's like in the changing rooms. What do we have for pre-match meal? What do we have after games? All that kind of stuff. And people are taking to it really well.
Yeah, and that's personally what I love about it. You know, you made me an honorary Watford fan just by, you know, seeing your vlogs and seeing what goes on behind the scenes. But you had this idea that you wanted to obviously put a GoPro in the goal, like you said, and you wanted to vlog you vlog chronologically the match day experience. But how did you approach the players, the manager, about this? Because I imagine that some of them might have been a bit skeptical.
I think, yeah, at first, for sure, they were, without doubt. You know, when you're in the changing room, it's almost like it's a safe space. You know, people don't pull their phones out and start recording stuff, because it's what goes on in the changing room stays in the changing rooms. But I started doing it, and like I say, everybody was skeptical, almost would turn their back to it and didn't want to know. And then I was like, lads, I'm not going to put anything out that's going to get you in trouble or be a little bit sort of up in the air that people think, oh, we shouldn't have said that or done that. Listen, I'm clever enough to know what I can and can't put out. I've been in football a long time to know that anyway. And plus, I've got a really great editor who's on the same page. Basically, he knows what can and can't be put out. And then once they started seeing a few episodes of the South, they could realize what it was. They knew that, like I say, it's a very good news story. So they're more than happy now. Like, you know, I put my camera out now. I know for a fact Will Hughes would be jumping behind me trying to swear or say something or mess about. And the lads love it, honestly. They genuinely love it. They're fully on board. They're always watching the new episodes. You know, the last two episodes, obviously, the promotion video and the celebration video, they were absolutely buzzing off, because, like I say, it's memories. Like, they want to see that moment again, and it's there on YouTube for everybody to see. So even in 10, 15 years' time, you know, when we're all older and grayer, they can look back on the videos and see that day and remember it firsthand.
Yeah, and what about, you mentioned a little bit about licensing problems at the beginning. How good has the EFL been with you in terms of that process?
EFL and Sky Sports have been absolutely top class. I can't say enough good things about them. They were so helpful, so accommodating. That, you know, they were so happy to keep it going that we basically came to an agreement within a day or two. And they were happy to give me an individual contract, which allowed me to carry on doing it for the remainder of the season. I'm not sure about next season yet. It's going to be a little bit different, whether we're allowed to use any match footage or anything like that. I'm sure that's a conversation that's going to be needed to be had somewhere. But for sure, the match day vlogs will continue. You know, if I'm traveling away to Man City or Liverpool or Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal, all those incredible teams, amazing stadiums, people want to see what they look like, and I'm more than happy to get my camera out and show you all.
Yeah, that's something we'd all love to see, I'm sure. And I can't interview the Cycling in GK without asking about that Jamal Lowe goal. Just tell us about your experience with that and how the lads reacted to it in the changing room.
Yeah, again, I didn't know he went up to the GoPro and celebrated. So I know, obviously, he scored the goal. I was just disappointed the goal had gone in, but he had ran up. Obviously, he did that sort of little celebration. It was nothing major, but then I got in the change rooms at half time, and a few of the lads were like, "Fozzie, he's celebrating in front of your GoPro. He's bang out of order. He's bang out of order." And I'm thinking, oh wow, that's going to look incredible. Like, if you know what I mean. And then straight away after the game, all the media outlets are asking him about it. Did you celebrate in front of the GoPro? And then it obviously sort of got ahead of steam, and people were so interested to see what it actually looked like. But like I say, at the end of the day, he literally just celebrated at the GoPro. And but it is what it is, you know. I know for a fact that players aren't trying extra hard to score past me just so they can celebrate in front of the GoPro. It's just football, you know. Players do their job, and when you're on the pitch, you genuinely don't give it a second thought. You know that you've got the world is watching anyway, so you just focus on doing your job.
Yeah, and what have been some of your highlights so far on this YouTube journey of yours?
That's a very good question. No one's actually asked me that. I think for me personally, obviously we got to 500,000 subscribers last week, which is absolutely incredible. I'd honestly say that the last two videos were two of my favorite videos. The promotion video and the celebration video. Every time I watch them, I finish and I've got a massive smile on my face, grinning from ear to ear. Another one of my favorite videos that I made actually was a bike ride I did with Teo Gegenhardt. He's a professional cyclist for Ineos Grenadiers. He had just won the Giro d'Italia, and I was lucky enough to sort of get in contact with him, and we went out on a bike ride. We had such a good laugh. He was such a wicked bloke, honestly, and I really enjoyed making and watching that video back as well.
Yeah, I just want to rewind it a little bit and talk about when you were out injured, because obviously a big perk of this is obviously having the GoPro in the goal and seeing the different perspective from you and the team. So when you was out injured, did that make you change your approach at all, or have second thoughts about it?
No, I definitely didn't have second thoughts. I just needed to come up with a little bit of a different idea of how I was going to work it. So initially, I wasn't traveling with a team or anything like that. So I struggled to make a few of the videos. But then then they were happy to let me travel again, just because it's good to be around the lads and keep the spirits up and the enthusiasm, all that kind of stuff. And then I came up with the idea, obviously, of using the goal clips from every time there's a goal scored in our games. I'm allowed, you know, EFL and Sky were happy to let me use the goal clips. So then we started putting them in, and I think that goes down really well as well. People like watching the professional goal clips as well, not just from the GoPro.
The response has been amazing from it. I'm sure you'll agree. How do you think this will change the footballing world?
I think it's something that really does need addressing. I think the closeness that I've brought football to the football fans, especially in a time when fans aren't allowed back in stadiums, it's been what they've genuinely been crying out for. You know, they really want to see that personal side of the players, because I think you only ever really get to see a watered down kind of toeing the line side of the footballers. You know, where they've got a camera, shoved in their face, and they're always so scared of what they say because they don't want to get themselves in trouble. But I think if everybody's just started opening up a little bit more, I think you'd really start to see some real characters come out, and you'd start to see so much more of football that we're not allowed to see. And hopefully it will be a sign of things to come, because I think if one of the big boys, one of the big teams started doing this with players, maybe if they started doing, one player did it every match day, for example, I think it would be an absolute massive hit. Honestly, I really do.
Yeah, always remember, you were the first original person that comes
Exactly, with it. It's fine. I don't mind if they steal my idea. It's fine, as long as the fans get to see some genuinely sort of behind the scenes content from these football teams, and you get to see some new personalities coming through. That's what everybody's screaming out for.
Yeah, and for you personally, we've seen the likes of Troy Deeney go into the media world recently, and does brilliant stuff on TalkSport. When it does eventually come for you to hang up your boots, what do you see yourself becoming? Do you see yourself becoming a YouTuber, maybe, as opposed to going into like mainstream media, if that's what you want to call it?
Yeah, maybe, to be honest. Yeah, I do like the digital side of it. Media is brilliant. I do enjoy it. But it's very sort of time consuming. If you're doing a game, you're there for the whole day, basically. And that's great. But, I've spent my career spending a lot of time away from home. And I know that if I'm doing something digitally on YouTube and I'm streaming all that kind of stuff, then most of the time I can do it from home. So we'll see. It's interesting. I think the platform that I've built to start with gives me so many more options than what I would have had before doing it. So I think for me personally, it's just very exciting that I know that I can sort of do whatever I want to do from this point onwards.
I think you'd be brilliant doing a podcast.
Yeah, that's that. Oh, for sure, mate. The season finishes in a couple of weeks' time, and we've already been looking at spaces and studios and all this kind of stuff. And I'm not even talking just the generic sort of footballer interviews. I don't want to do them things. I want to talk to anybody and everyone, and I want to talk to YouTubers, like viral sensations, media stuff, all that kind of stuff. Anybody with a good story to tell, I'm more than happy to do that. So yeah, I think in the off season, we're looking probably to have about 7 weeks off. For sure I'm going to get set up with that and start getting a few podcast episodes recorded.
Yeah, that sounds brilliant. And just finally, what would be on the YouTube side of things? What would be your message to the football media landscape about getting this out there and making this more permanent thing?
I think they just need to embrace it. I really do. I think the YouTube world is so big, so vast, and it's got such an appealing audience that I genuinely didn't understand what I was getting into when I first started YouTube. The YouTube world is bigger than anything I've ever been on in my life. You know, the fact now that I walk down the street and people will shout the Cycling GK, they won't shout Ben Foster anymore. They'll shout the Cycling GK, and I hope people will only ever come up to me and say, "I love your videos. I love your videos." They don't want to talk about me as a footballer almost. They want to talk about me as a YouTuber. And like I say, the market is out there. It's absolutely ginormous. People don't really want to see too much of this polished sort of Sky Sports and BT Sports stuff anymore. They don't want to see these sort of polished interviews and stuff. And they want to see it a bit more raw, a bit real sort of life. Do you know what I mean? Having a beer and something and talking about the game that's on telly and calling on some of your past experiences, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and just finally, very quickly, I just want to talk briefly about the amazing work you do for leukemia. Just firstly, tell us why this is important to you.
Yeah, so I'm lucky enough to be a patron for Cure Leukaemia. They initially were a sort of a local charity to me, Birmingham. They're from, but they've since gone on to bigger and better things. They're now a national charity. I got involved with them. I think it was probably about 10 years ago. I was recovering from an ACL injury in my knee, and they just invited me along to do a London to Paris bike ride. So I was like, yeah, cool, it's good. It's all part of the sort of rehab work. And within, a few hours of being with them guys, I was so inspired. Honestly, I got to ride with people who had overcome leukemia. Literally, the charity is literally saving lives, basically. So when somebody gets diagnosed with leukemia, they'll go onto the NHS drugs, and a lot of the times the NHS will be like, listen, the drugs aren't working, it's not going to be for you. That's when Cure Leukaemia step in with the trial drugs that they use. And like I say, they are genuinely working. They are working. We need so much more money to be pumped into this charity, because the drugs that they're using and trialing and working on are working, and they're saving lives. And no, for me, it's a massive honor to be part of them, and I'm so pleased. Anytime they give me a call or text and want something, it's a given that I'll help them out, because they're great guys and they're doing a great job.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Benny, it's been an absolute pleasure talking all things football, YouTube, and your amazing charity work. And hopefully we can see more of it next season in the Premier League. Thank you, mate.
Top man. Jude, enjoyed that, mate. That was absolutely wicked. You are a superstar, mate.
Wow, what a brilliant chat with Ben Foster. What a legend he is. Hopefully we can see more of his vlogs in the near future in the Premier League. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new. But until next time, goodbye. Hit the subscribe button and follow my journey to the media world. Click the video choices on screen to see more of my work.